One of the biggest assumptions I see out there is this. If you know how to code, you can just download a model and run it locally. Easy, right? Well, not exactly. Hello everyone, welcome to Debugging with K-Tips. If this isn't your first time here, welcome back. The reality is that running large language models locally is not plug and play. Even if you're a developer. Sure, being technical helps a lot, but there's still a long list of things that can, and often will, go wrong. Let's start with the hardware side. You might think, I've got a GPU, I'm good to go. But it's not that simple. You need the right drivers, the right CUDA version, and the right runtime configuration. If you've ever tried to match CUDA with PyTorch and TensorRT, you know it's like walking a tightrope, one mismatch and nothing works. And then you find yourself in driver update purgatory, rolling back and reinstalling just to get back to square one. Now, even if your hardware is ready, the software stack is its own adventure. You're juggling Docker images, Conda environments, pip dependencies, and libraries that don't always play nicely together. A single minor update to one package can break half your workflow. I've personally spent entire evenings digging through GitHub issues, scrolling Stack Overflow, and trying different flags, all just to fix a dependency conflict. And the frustrating part is that it can happen again next week with a different update. Then comes the models themselves. These checkpoints aren't small, we're talking tens of gigabytes per model. First you need the disk space and a reliable connection to download them. Then you discover there are multiple formats, FP16 and 8, for bit quantized versions. Which one does your GPU actually support? Which one runs fast enough without crashing after 200 tokens? That trial and error alone can take hours. And let's not forget memory limits. You might load a model just fine, but when you actually run inference, boom, out of VRAM. So you try quantization. Then you adjust batch sizes. Then you tinker with offloading. It's not set it and forget it. It's constant experimentation. Now, none of this is to discourage you. In fact, it's the opposite. Running locally can be incredibly rewarding. You learn a ton about how machine learning systems really work under the hood. You get more control over the process, and you don't have to rely on someone else's API limits or features. There's a real sense of accomplishment when you finally get everything running smoothly on your own hardware. But here's the key. It takes patience. It takes persistence. And it takes time. That's why managed services exist. If what you really want is to focus on building an app, testing ideas, or shipping a product, then paying for a cloud API may actually be the smarter move. The cloud abstracts away the headaches, while local gives you the control, but at the cost of complexity. So the takeaway is simple. Don't underestimate the learning curve. Knowing how to code is a huge advantage, but it doesn't magically make the process smooth. The real skill is persistence, being willing to troubleshoot, to learn, and to keep trying when things break. Because trust me, they will break. And with that, we wrap up this myth-busting series on local AI. If you've been following along from Myth 1 all the way to here, thank you for sticking with me. I hope this gave you a balanced view of the trade-offs, the advantages, and the realities of running large models locally. But this isn't the end, it's just the start. In my next videos, I'll be diving deeper into the actual tools, benchmarks, and setups you can use to make this work in practice. Think of this as the foundation. And what comes next is how to really build on it. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy coding and debugging with K-Tips.